It's a big deal, and it's it's not easy for anybody. But I know that at the end of the day, she chooses me and I choose her, and therefore whatever we have to tackle together or individually will always be us together as a team. So
the house in Erie sits dead quiet, gates locked, no lights, and that $14.65 million Montecito mansion is getting cleared out like someone's pulling the plug. What was supposed to be Harry and Meghan's forever home is suddenly looking like a rented dream that ran out of time. Welcome to Retrover, where power, secrets, and history collide. If you're into deep stories that shake the surface, make sure you hit subscribe and don't miss what's coming next. People close to them are finally saying what's been floating around for months. It's all over. Not just the royal comeback, but the marriage talk, the Netflix and Spotify hype, and even the donor energy behind the Archwell Foundation is thinning out fast. Montecito wasn't just a house, it was their whole image. Without it, the brand takes a hit. And this isn't just messy gossip. It's a financial and legal squeeze that's been building since early 2026, and now it's blowing up. Leaked documents from the Daily Ledger say the 2026 property taxes are past due, over $134,000 unpaid. The same couple who said they'd fund their own future can't cover their own tax bill. And that $100 million Netflix deal is starting to look shaky too.
And we knew we had to invest the time and the energy and whatever it took to make that happen. And and with the filming schedule, it was not the easiest because
insiders claim Netflix wants to trigger an early exit clause, and that could hit them with $124 million in penalties. Yeah, that number is wild. A huge partnership, tons of hype, but now it's looking like a painful breakup. Now stack it up. Overdue taxes, collapsing deals, and a mansion that costs a fortune just to breathe. So you'd think, sell it, but it's not that clean. Sources close to Harry say he quietly contacted Tyler Perry, the same Tyler Perry who gave them his Beverly Hills home when they first left the UK, asking for emergency bridge financing. That wording screams trouble, and when Harry asked, Perry allegedly said no, not out of hate, but reputation worries, sources say. No one wants to back a public mess. Then, another twist. Meghan's personal trust fund was reportedly restructured last year, locking Harry out completely. A former Sussex business consultant put it blunt: there is no plan. So what happens when your mansion turns into a money trap? The cash dries up, lawyers start circling, and pressure hits from both sides of the Atlantic. That's when people start packing, and that's exactly what's going down now. It all traces back to one moment, February 17th, 2026. Inside St George's Hall at Windsor Castle, Prince William, acting as sovereign while King Charles dealt with health issues, delivered Royal Order No. 17. Historians are already calling it one of the heaviest power moves since Queen Elizabeth II's Jubilee address. This wasn't just pageantry, it was a legal hammer, shaped by Princess Anne, Lord Alistair Pembroke, and Duchess Sophie, permanently blocking Harry from any return to official royal duties. Titles, privileges, rights tied to the crown, gone. The order also froze any asset or inheritance linked to the Sussex branch inside the Crown estate.
for me, it's an added member of the family. It's another team player as part of the bigger team. And for all of us, all we want to do is be able to carry out the right engagements, carry out our work, and try and encourage others and the younger generation to be able to see the world in the correct sense, rather than perhaps having a distorted view.
William reportedly pointed to King Charles's own precedent from October 2025, when Charles stripped Prince Andrew's royal titles and pushed him out of Royal Lodge. Message was clear: if the crown could cut off Andrew, it could do it again, no matter how ugly it gets. Think about that. A prince basically telling his own brother that royal blood doesn't guarantee protection anymore. Not in this monarchy, not with William steering the wheel. Then came the real shock. A classified memo sent straight to the Ministry of Justice, invoking Royal Separation Protocol 14-7, a rarely used measure tied to the abdication crisis of King Edward VII. The public only caught on after the Royal Gazette dropped this icy line. The Duke of Sussex will no longer be accorded sovereign privileges, travel protections, or institutional representation within the United Kingdom effective immediately. The next morning, polls reportedly showed 68% of Britain backed it, and William's approval as future king jumped to 84% overnight. One outlet summed it up in 4 words: he chose the crown. Now picture Harry in Montecito reading that decree off an iPad late at night. The kids are asleep. Meghan's in another room on a call with her legal team, and the last line hits hard. No return shall be contemplated until the children's full legal identities are submitted, verified and recognised by the Crown. And this wasn't just a cold shoulder, it was a legal challenge. Then it gets messier. Reports say in January 2026, Harry quietly finalised a confidential divorce from Meghan Markle, sealed by the courts, setting off custody fights, image right drama and leaks that even top PR couldn't plug. Here's what everyone keeps asking. Did anyone really see this coming? They stepped back in 2020, went raw with Oprah in 2021, then jumped into Netflix, podcasts and memoir. Money. So how did it end up as divorce hearings and cash panic all at the same time? Now, the dossier. This is where things get serious fast. Reports say that on February 10th, 2026, Lady Louise Windsor, 22, working with senior royal legal officers, submitted a confidential 117-page report to the Royal Family Tribunal. Lord Pembroke allegedly said that single document changed everything. From there, it reportedly stopped being family drama and turned into questions about succession, legitimacy and royal standards. The report allegedly raised concerns about the children's records being inconsistent across places, and it also pointed to commercial deals tied to their names and images, plus possible child protection compliance issues, claims that set off alarms with royal legal teams. The biggest alleged shocker was a proposed kids' entertainment project called Sussex Kitchen, where the children would appear as recurring characters, more like a show than a documentary. After that, reports claim the tribunal made a sweeping move, naming Princess Catherine and Duchess Sophie as royal matrons and potential guardians if custody or parental capacity ever became an issue. William even addressed the nation himself, saying, "These are still children of Windsor. Their future will not be bartered in the court of public opinion, nor auctioned through entertainment platforms." Then came the coldest move yet, the lineage safeguard clause, a rarely used royal statute from the early 1900s, tightened after the Duke of Windsor's 1936 abdication scandal, and revised again after Lord Mountbatten's assassination. It's basically the monarchy's bloodline lock, and this time it got enforced. Reports say the clause gives the reigning monarch, or acting sovereign, the power to deny royal recognition to descendants who carry the name but not the crown's loyalty. Allegedly invoked by William and ratified by King Charles, it froze the children's royal trust entitlements, property rights, and ceremonial privileges. Their status? Put on ice until 21, and even then only after a full ethics and identity review in Crown Court. Then came Meghan's reaction and 5 words that lit up the internet. Leaked footage allegedly shows her on the Montecito veranda, phone in hand, furious, saying, "I gave them the brand." That line hit like a siren, because it made people feel like the kids were being treated like a public product instead of private family.
We together have been absolutely, solid support, and my grandparents as well have been wonderful throughout this whole process, and they've known for quite some time. So how they haven't told anybody is again a miracle in itself. But no, the whole family have come together and have been a huge amount of support.
Backlash supposedly exploded fast, with hashtags like #ProtectTheLine, #NoMoreRoyalLeaks, and #Custody Not Currency trending worldwide. Media piled on too, while reports say Meghan's legal team geared up for a fight that could reshape the future of the Sussex name. Meghan's legal team reportedly came out swinging. They filed objections saying the tribunal had no authority over minors living in California, accusing the Crown of overreach and emotional pressure. Behind the scenes, reports claim her lawyers even looked at going international, using The Hague to dodge UK rulings entirely. But Lord Pembroke's reply was calm and sharp. He reportedly said that while Archie and Lily live in the US, their titles, privileges and public treatment are still tied to the Crown, and that link gives the tribunal standing. In simple terms, if Royal Connection grants it, legal review can withdraw it. You can't have it both ways. Meanwhile, Harry was reportedly falling apart. Sources described him as withdrawn, barely eating, and sometimes sleeping in his car instead of inside the Montecito house. One insider called it the end of a hallucination. Then came the last brutal exchange between the brothers, right before the ruling went public. According to reports, Harry called William and asked, "So that's it? You're just cutting me off forever?" William's alleged reply hit hard. "No, I'm letting you go because you refuse to let go of what broke us." After that, reports say Harry signed a non-objection agreement, but only if the children wouldn't be moved to palace grounds, instead placed at a neutral estate in Kent, managed by the Crown Guardianship Office with trauma-informed caretakers. Insiders claim Meghan never forgave him, and one source says she left a voice message saying he doesn't understand empire. He thinks love can undo protocol. Then came the letter nobody was supposed to see. 2 days after the tribunal decision, aides reportedly found an unsigned note addressed simply, "My children." The handwriting allegedly matched Harry's, and the ink looked smeared like it was written through tears. It read, "I loved you before titles, I love you now without them." That's the haunting part. A father writing to his kids, knowing he can't send it, can't sign it, can't even explain himself. A man who ran from the most powerful family on earth chasing freedom, only to end up losing both freedom and family. And here's what splits people. Do you feel sympathy for Harry now? Or do you think every move he made pushed him straight into this moment? Either way, the Montecito exit isn't just about money, it's a symbol. Reports say the Archwell Foundation's donor base has dried up because the whole machine ran on royal shine. Once titles got suspended and palace access slammed shut, sponsors and partners allegedly ghosted. No drama, just silence. And Netflix, that golden ticket, is reportedly leaning toward an early exit clause because the content didn't land. There are even claims that the Royal Rift documentary included footage tied to confidential paediatric records, according to internal memos cited by the tribunal, something that could get pulled into the ethics case. Spotify? Done a while ago. Archetypes got 1 season, then vanished. The speaking circuit, once a cash machine for ex-royals, has cooled off too. And insiders say booking agents are watching everything. When even Tyler Perry reportedly backed away, the message got loud. Now comes Meghan's next play. Reports say she's negotiating a tell-all memoir titled The Crown Kept My Children. Just that title sounds like a shot across the palace walls. Emotional, defiant, and built to stir people up. But legal experts are already warning it could trigger non-disparagement clauses tied to older contracts. Some reports say during the 2020 exit talks, Meghan agreed to terms palace lawyers are now digging through, and one royal advisor allegedly called the memoir contractual self-destruction. What's wild is the palace reportedly isn't panicking. They're leaning on the so-called Windsor doctrine, silence as discipline, not fear. The thinking is the book won't win sympathy, it'll hand over evidence in a custody and ethics fight. Then another twist. Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, publicly sided with Prince William. Her statement, released through the Royal Legal Archive, read, "I once thought silence protected the crown, but I have learned it protects abusers more in this clarity. I support your ruling. Children are not bargaining chips, not even royal ones. When Fergie switches sides, the whole map changes, fast." And that brings it back to Montecito. The house, the exit, the question stamped on every headline. Where do Harry and Meghan go from here? The picture is rough. That mansion is allegedly unsustainable, overdue taxes, shrinking income, and the brutal costs of a cross-Atlantic custody fight against the financial muscle of the British monarchy. Everything points one way. The house has to go. But selling Montecito isn't just a money move. It's the death of the story. That mansion was the beating heart of the Sussex image. Freedom, success, and we don't need the palace energy. Every glossy Netflix shot, every stage stroll, every careful interview spun around that backdrop. Once it's sold, the illusion fades and the whispers get louder. Where do they land now? Reports paint it like this. Royal bridges burned, US, corporate allies gone, the dream home on the chopping block, divorce sealed, and the kids tied up in Crown guardianship claims. Canada gets mentioned, since Harry's spoken warmly about it, but Meghan's ambitions are linked to Hollywood. And Vancouver isn't LA Europe? Unlikely. With privileges revoked and travel issues hanging over them, even moving around Commonwealth territories could turn into a legal mess. California, but smaller, looks like the most realistic landing spot. A downsized place, a quieter routine, and a long, draining legal fight that eats time, money, and sanity.
We're able to really meet Harry and my mom, who we spent a lot of time with. He was so much fun.
Your mom's amazing.
It was just obvious that no matter what we were being put through, that it was just temporary.
What makes this hit harder than a celebrity crash is the kids. Archie and Lily never chose any of this, not the royal spotlight, not the cross-Atlantic headlines, not the cameras, and definitely not a custody tribunal shaping their lives. Reports say both are now under Crown guardianship oversight, with their futures monitored by a system bigger than any scandal. People also noticed the royal family website reportedly changed. Their names, once listed near senior royals, are no longer shown the same way. Instead, there's a blunt line. Status updated in accordance with Royal Custodial Tribunal ruling 2026. No emotion, no speech, just a date. Cold and final. And if this feels heavier than the usual royal drama, it's because it is. This is real family damage across oceans, courts and generations. And while that fallout spreads, reports say the monarchy is riding a wave of public approval, with William's hardline approach being praised as a historic show of control and discipline. His approval as future king is sitting around 84%, and that four-word editorial, "He chose the crown," basically summed up the national mood. But behind the cheering, some constitutional experts are uneasy, warning this isn't just messy family business. It's the monarchy evolving in real time. The Royal Family Tribunal, the Lineage Safeguard Clause, and the formal labelling of Archie and Lily as out-of-status descendants are being described as structural shifts in royal governance. This isn't just history happening. It's the Crown rewriting its own rulebook while the world watches. Lord Pembroke reportedly called the House of Windsor Domestic Tribunal the first codified royal court of its kind in modern British history. The last time anything similar existed, the Plantagenets were collapsing. So yeah, it's historic and seriously controversial. Is this strength or overreach? Princess Anne laid down the moral line, and Duchess Sophie sharpened it, saying no child should be used as a pawn, a product, or a passport. Catherine, now formally titled Guardian General of Royal Minors, added, "This is not a palace, but it is peace." And with the public exhausted by Sussex, chaos. Those words landed like a hammer. That speed could crash straight into international law. Human rights experts and transatlantic legal analysts are already watching closely, and reports say Meghan's lawyers are prepping a Hague strategy. There are also claims the US side won't challenge the children's relocation, pointing to British jurisdiction and shared child protection treaties. So now it's a global legal chessboard, and everyone's watching how far this goes. But this story isn't done, not even close. The next chapter gets written when the memoir drops, when custody hearings heat up, and when Archie and Lily are old enough to speak for themselves. That's when the real reckoning hits. And look at how it ends for now. Harry and Meghan leaving Montecito without glossy photos, without a crew, without a victory lap. Just legal pressure, money strain, and 6 years of choices catching up fast. Reports claim the mansion is going up for sale, the foundation is. Basically dormant, streaming deals are fading, the divorce is finalised, and the kids are under Crown guardianship oversight, while Meghan's lawyers line up the next move. Insiders say Harry has withdrawn again, barely eating, barely seen. Across the ocean, William reportedly stays locked in, following advice his grandmother gave him to hold the line. His recent statement said, "My duty is not to comfort discomfort, but to uphold legacy, not to reconcile the unreconcilable, but to protect those too young to understand what's been done in their name." It's a chilling contrast. One brother clinging to principle, the other clinging to whatever freedom he's got left. The curtain might be dropping on Montecito, but this royal story is nowhere near finished. Whether you agree with the palace's moves or think the whole system needs a hard recheck, one thing is clear. This chapter was loud, chaotic, and watched by the entire world. But the next chapter won't be written by publicists, streaming crews, or royal press teams. Nope, it'll be written by two kids growing up out of the spotlight, and one day, when they're old enough, they'll tell their side. Now I want your take. Did William make the right call with Royal Order 17, or did the monarchy go too far? Is Harry a victim of impossible pressure, or the architect of his own downfall? And what happens to Meghan's brand once the Montecito era is officially done? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're locked in on this story, like, subscribe, share and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next, because this saga is still unfolding.